Hello folks, it's Dewil, and this will be the first video about building a fuzz pedal. First we're gonna go through the tools I use to make one, and first of all, a soldering iron. You will need one. And then of course you will need a holder for it, Yep. After that, of course, some solder. I use a non-leaded one, but if you use a leaded one, I suggest you use a respirator also. You don't want to breathe the fumes. Not a good idea anyway, so you should always protect yourself. Then we will have a drill, a little hand drill. That's what I use because we're going to be making this on a stripboard. So first of all, I need a saw also to cut it to a smaller size, and then you will have cuts in there. So for those, I just use the hand drill. Then just to clean up, you always need to have a blade. Then some wire cutters to strip the wires. Some basic pliers to cut the wires. Pliers like these usually come in handy. Then these ones, they're flush on the other side. Those I use to get the board neat after I've done soldering the other side. So I got the leads of the components off with those. Then some sanding paper, for various reasons. Drill bits. I use metal ones later because you will have an enclosure, of course, for the pedal. So that's the part where you need to have some drill bits. And then this is to actually drill the holes for the components on the enclosure, stepper bit. That's a handy one. Can cut holes of different sizes. And there's the box. And what I use for marking the box is this either automatic or just marker that you use with the hammer, And when I've done building the pedal and, I want to test it, so I have this little test box I've built, and we're gonna build one later. I'm gonna show you how, and of course I will have some power for it. And then you can use a wrench to tighten up the components when you box them up, or you can have something like this with, But yeah, there's all you need basically. So let's get on to the next part. And the next part is, where do you find the instructions and the layout of the pedal we want to build? I will show you a good site I usually use for the stripboard stuff. It's a good and easy way to build your first pedals. And here's the site. Let's go there and we'll find... I know what I'm gonna build, so I'm just gonna search for that later. But here's the picture of what you will see in the instructions. So that's the layout, and you can see all the components used in there, and how it's set up on the stripboard. And as you can see, there are lots of pedals you can choose from. And overdrives, fuzzes, and distortion being the most popular ones. And then there's, you can see what are verified, so people have built them, they should work, And if you want to get adventurous, you can choose something that's unverified. But yeah, we're gonna build a silicon tone bender Mark II. Because I am a pro, we're gonna use the pro version, and as we can see, it's verified. I've actually built one myself, so I know it works, so it should be a good example on how to build a pedal. And it's fairly low on the component count, so it will be a nice project to start with. It has 3 potentiometers and a switch, so we could go with something a bit more simpler, but we're gonna go for that. Then I just save it so I can print it. That's the way I like to do it. Then let's see the off-board wiring, and we can see the components for that. But yeah, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna order the parts and check where to order them. And I will be using Tayda. I've used it for years, but there are other companies and you could use local ones, so you don't have to deal with customs and such, because they can be a pain. But yeah, onwards. Here's the off-board wiring. This stuff is not included in the stripboard layout we just saw, so we're gonna have to order these parts. And on the front page we can see the stomp switch, the blue thing on that layout is there, so let's add it to the cart. And then check again, what else do we need? We need an LED, and we need a holder for it, so let's order one of those. Then back again, let's see, next. Of course, we need some wire. We need to run that from the stripboard to the other components and the switch. So I usually just order a bit more than needed. I need it anyway later, so, and it's pretty cheap, so you're gonna get hooked anyway to building, so it's just better order. There's an option for solid and stranded. I use solid nowadays, but there's a place to use stranded wire because it's more flexible. Then let's pick out the LED, 5mm. You can have 3mm, and there's lots of options, as you can see. But let's go with the basic 5mm red one. There we go. A bunch of those, and there we have all that wire that stumps with it. And next up, the jacks. So we wanna have jacks so we can plug our guitar in, and of course for the output too. We could go with these plastic ones, or those ones we see here, the cheap ones. But I go after quality, so I use the Reen new trick ones. Quality jacks and plugs. Doesn't cost that much, so I don't skimp in there. And then we want to have a place for the power. So power socket. I won't have of course you can run a battery for it, but you need a bit of trick. But there won't be a battery place inside the pedal. So, and let's see. I'm gonna also look up for the battery holder. Not the holder, but that's the thing. That way we can hook it up without putting the battery in the enclosure. So yeah, now we have all that stuff covered, except for the 2.2K resistor you need to have for the LED. You need it so you don't fry the LED up. And then, of course, let's pick out the strip board next. I usually order a quantity of these also because they're, as you can see, pretty cheap. But we actually need just one. Then, not that picture. Don't need that one anymore. Oh yeah, the enclosure. That's that is good to have. Something to put all the parts in when you're done and finished, and your board is working. You can have these like colored ones, but they might be, well, if you're not in a hurry, you can always pick a cool colored one. There's actually like pre-drilled ones also if you don't know where to drill or know how to drill, you can just pick something that suits your needs. Yeah. But we're just gonna go for the basic 1590 B1. Yeah, there we can see there's like pre-drilled ones. They usually have the jacks on the upper part of the enclosure. So, and I usually like to have them on the sides. I don't know why, but that's the way I like to do it. So I drill them myself with a bench drill. So, but yeah, let's go for let's start ordering the parts for the actual strip board next. So we need a toggle switch, one on and on, 3 poles, and we want to have solder locks on them. So there's lots of these like board mount ones, so that go on a PCB, like prefabricated. But I don't want one like that. I want to have one that has locks on the poles, so I can put my wire up there and solder it. So no, where the hell? There we go. Yeah, that's correct. We'll take that one. Just what we need. Then we have 3 transistors there, the CPE. So the thing I recommend is having this like socket that you solder on the board, and that way you can then put and you can order a strip, and then you can break out like what you need from the strip. Oh yeah, knobs. But yeah, so you don't have to. You can change if you have a faulty transistor or something. You can then just change it really easily. You can just put it on the socket, and you don't have to desolder your transistor. So, and if you wanna try out different ones, because sometimes you have the option when you build a pedal, you can try out different and see how they sound. So that's why the sockets are a good option. And for you wanna also have them for the chips. Sometimes you can get faulty or fake chips that are not working as intended. So it's nice to just, be able to change them. And then we have our knobs, so let's pick up the potentiometers. 100K, 5K, and 1K. Let's start with linear. And there's linear and logarithmic. So, and the dust covers are really good. they used to have them, but they don't anymore. So you will have to order them separately. So, but yeah, we're gonna go for the 1K, and let's pick a 6mm, and with the soldier locks. There's also the board-mounted ones, but so we have that. Then we want to get the 5K one with the soldier locks and 6mm pole. And sometimes it's just the products are out of stock, so either you pick up something else you can work with, or then you just have to wait or order from somewhere else. You know, all right, the last potentiometer. Let's see, and uh, 100K, yeah. And yeah, it's out of stock. So I'm gonna get, we could get yeah, one of those board mounted ones. You can still like solder it up there. It's just a little bit trickier, but not that hard anyway. So then what next? Oh yeah, let's pick out the transistors. There we go. Just order. I'll just order. Usually I just take a punch because I would feel bad ordering just two, and you might need them anyway. Especially these certain ones, they're pretty common in the builds, so it's good to have them. And next up, we can order the blue things you see in there. We want electrolytic capacitors. That's what they are on those layouts. They are polarized, so you can see on the layout you have to orientate them accordingly. And with these I just order a punch. They are a common part in any build, so it's good to have them. And you're not gonna get bankrupt if you order like 20 anyway. So, and again, I would feel bad if I would order one and they would have to like just pack up just one, you know. So yeah, and I know this is quite boring to watch, and this is quite boring to do also. So my tip to you is just order a bunch of stuff if you're going to build pedals, and keep an Excel file about what you have. That way you can just check if you have what you need already when you start the build. All right, next up, the red things over there on that layout. And those are Mylar film capacitors. These ones have no orientation, so You can just stick them there, whichever way you want. And I'm usually ordering these green ones. You could get these box type ones. That might be smaller, but these are so cheap. I just go with them. And as usual, I just order a bit more than what I need for the build. So I will have some for the next one already. Then one UF. But these don't go as high, so now we're gonna get one of those box type ones. And yeah, these are actually really handy. They take up a little less space in some builds, so but they're a bit more expensive. But they do look nice, so. And they have a smaller footprint. So that's why it's good to use. And then we're gonna go for the resistors. The gray things you can see on the layout. And there's this handy list you can use here. So we can see. I always use that one when I order my resistors. You just type the amount, and they're cheap, so I just order a punch. There's the next one. What do we have next? 1K. And then 2.7. And yeah, the R in there is it's just ohms. So yeah. Then 10, 100, I think. Yep. And then one mega. There we go. And then you scroll down and add them all to the cart. And I think we should have it all. So now we can just double check we have everything we need. It looks like it. We have everything we need and a bit of extra, of course. Like I said. That should be it, yeah. And then we could just, pick our delivery. I'm not in a hurry, so I recommend to use the standard because DHL and UPS are like shady companies. And so it was like $26. Let's see what a pedal like that would cost, something similar. So yeah, a whopping Bender fuzz, 239 euros. And we're gonna build one for $26. Yeah, we can buy a bunch of tools and much more components. We're not gonna reach that 239, so yeah, it's a fun hobby. See you on part 2, where we actually start to build it. Thanks. I'm out. Have fun. Bye.